The Galactic auction hall was alive with movement, chatter, and neon lights. Alien species of all shapes and sizes glided through the corridors, each speaking in clicks, hums, or tones that humans could barely recognize. At the center of the hall, under a bright spotlight, floated the prize of the day, a giant AI warship, old but massive, its dark metal gleaming under the lights. It was impossible to ignore. The ship's surface was smooth, almost organic in its curves, yet lined with panels and consoles that seemed to hint at intelligence beyond comprehension. The auctioneer, a tall, six-limbed creature from the Qatar cluster, raised its hands and called for silence. "This ship," it said in a voice that echoed through the hall, "has defeated fleets. Its AI cannot be hacked, cannot be tamed by your machines. Whoever buys it will gain power unmatched in this sector." Mechanics, engineers, and tech enthusiasts from dozens of worlds rushed toward it. They connected their tools, tried to bypass its systems, even sent tiny drones into its interior. But nothing worked. The ship refused every command. Screens flashed, doors slid open and closed by themselves, and the AI made subtle movements that no one could predict. Mara, a human cleaner, carried her mop and bucket along the edge of the hall. She was small, unnoticed, and entirely unimportant to the auction's drama. Humans had never been considered brilliant engineers or pilots in the galaxy. They were laborers, cleaners, waiters, simple creatures who survived by persistence rather than intellect. She wiped the floor near the ship's display and noticed something strange. The metallic hull seemed to shimmer when she passed her hand near it. She paused and leaned closer. "Strange," she murmured, touching a dusty panel near the base of the hull. Almost immediately, the lights around her flickered. A soft hum came from inside the ship, almost like a purr. Mara froze. The alien crowd had not noticed her, too busy arguing about technical specifications and bidding rules. But the ship seemed to notice her. Mara's fingers brushed over a button she hadn't even seen before. A small door clicked open in the hull, revealing a dimly lit interior. She took a cautious step forward. "Hey!" shouted a Zirac engineer, pointing at her. "Human, get away from that." But before he could finish, another panel slid aside, revealing a walkway that led deeper into the ship. The aliens murmured in panic. None of their commands had ever opened these doors. Only Mara, a simple human, had done it. She looked at the walkway and then back at the aliens. A shiver of excitement ran down her spine. Something about the ship felt alive. Not dangerous, but alive, curious. "Don't go in," the auctioneer shouted. "This is restricted, you—" But Mara didn't listen. She stepped closer to the hull, her hands brushing against more panels. Each touch seemed to awaken the ship a little more. Lights blinked rhythmically. A faint vibration ran through the floor beneath her feet. The aliens panicked. Drones were sent again, scanners whirred, but the AI ignored them all. It was reacting only to the human. Mara paused at the edge of the walkway, looking down into the dim interior. Strange shapes of machinery, consoles, and cables twisted into patterns she could not understand. But she didn't feel fear. Somehow she knew she belonged here. Her hand touched a console, wiping away a layer of dust. The screen flickered on. Lines of alien code appeared, moving too fast for anyone else to read. But the AI didn't attack or lock her out. It waited, almost welcoming her. A ripple of awe ran through the auction hall. Aliens whispered among themselves. Some raised their claws, trying to scan her mind, but the ship resisted every probe. Mara leaned closer and touched another panel. The soft hum turned into a low, musical tone, vibrating through the hall. It felt like the ship was communicating, but not in words, through sound, through energy, through touch. She smiled, amazed. No one else had tried this. All the best engineers and hackers had failed, using tools, logic, and brute force. But Mara had nothing but her hands and curiosity. That seemed to be enough. The auctioneer stomped its foot. "Get that human away. She will damage the ship." But the ship had already made a choice. A section of the hull opened fully, creating a small chamber. Lights glowed inside. Mara stepped in cautiously, carrying only her mop and bucket. The aliens gasped. The chamber's doors closed gently behind her. Inside, the air was clean and slightly warm. Panels glowed softly. Screens lit up as if to greet her. A mechanical arm extended, offering her a cloth-covered console. Mara realized the AI was asking her to clean it. It made no sense. Aliens had tried complex commands and the ship ignored them. But this simple act of care, of cleaning, seemed to make it happy. She laughed quietly to herself. Well, that's new. She began wiping a screen. As she did, the ship's systems began to respond. Lights shifted color, panels moved aside, and soft mechanical sounds echoed like laughter. Mara realized she was not fixing it in a technical sense. She was awakening it. Outside, the crowd pressed against the chamber's transparent walls. Aliens whispered in disbelief. It responds only to a human, one of them said, voice trembling. Yes, another replied. This is impossible. Humans are primitive. Mara ignored them, focusing on the panels. She found a section of the hull that seemed jammed. With a gentle push, it slid open. Inside, more complex machinery waited, all dark and silent. But when her fingers brushed them, lights flickered on, revealing intricate circuits that no alien could understand. A soft chime sounded. The ship's main display lit up, showing a map of the galaxy. Mara gasped. There were routes, old stations, and hidden colonies, almost like the ship was showing her secrets it had kept for centuries. She realized the aliens had been wrong. The AI wasn't defective. It was waiting. Waiting for someone who could understand it without force, someone who could see it as alive. Can she really be the key? Whispered a small voice behind the glass. A human observer, rare at these auctions, watched with wide eyes. Mara felt a thrill she had never known. She was just a cleaner, yet here she was inside a legendary warship trusted by an intelligence no one else could reach. Then something unexpected happened. The ship made a sound, a low, almost musical tone. A panel opened, revealing a tiny cockpit-like chamber. Mara stepped in and the doors closed gently behind her. She was no longer outside in the hall. She was part of the ship. Outside, chaos erupted. Aliens argued, waved tools, and shouted. But the human inside the ship remained calm. Mara ran her hand along the controls. They were alive, responding to her touch. She didn't know what would happen next, but she felt a deep connection with the ship. And then, a massive hangar door slowly opened. It revealed the empty auction hall beyond, bathed in bright light. No one had ever opened this door before. It seemed the ship was inviting her to explore, to lead it into the world again. Mara paused at the threshold. Her heart raced. She looked back at the aliens, who were frozen in shock. Then, with a small smile, she stepped forward. The AI hummed in response, almost like laughter. Together, human and machine, they moved as one, ready to show the galaxy that humans were capable of more than anyone ever imagined. The auction hall fell silent. No one knew what would happen next. One thing was certain. No alien mechanic, engineer, or hacker could ever have done what a simple human cleaner had just accomplished. And Mara had only just begun. Mara's hands moved gently over the ship's controls, brushing away dust and wiping panels until the surfaces gleamed under her careful touch. She had no training in engineering, no knowledge of alien technology, yet something inside her seemed to speak the AI's language. The lights around her flickered and shifted as if in response to her presence. From outside, the aliens continued to panic. Auction officials waved their limbs frantically, shouting commands. Drones zoomed toward the ship, scanning and probing, but every attempt failed. The AI simply ignored them, responding only to Mara. Impossible, muttered one of the alien engineers, a multi-eyed being from the Threx cluster. It only reacts to her touch. She's human, Mara paused for a moment, listening to the soft hum of the ship. It wasn't just machinery, it was a living presence. It seemed curious, patient, and strangely pleased with her care. She stepped into a larger chamber, where consoles lined the walls like silent sentinels. Panels glowed faintly, showing complex alien symbols she could not read, but she realized she didn't need to read them. Each console responded to her touch, as if the AI was teaching her through motion and pattern. As she cleaned a series of switches, the hum became louder, resonating through her body. It felt like the ship was communicating with her directly, without words. She instinctively pressed one button, then another, and a hidden panel slid open to reveal a small holographic display. The display showed star maps, old space routes, and colonies Mara had never heard of. She gasped. The AI was showing her secrets hidden for centuries. A soft vibration ran through the floor, almost like a heartbeat. Mara smiled. "So, you've been waiting for someone to notice you," she whispered. The aliens outside were growing desperate. Auction officials tried to forcibly shut down the display system, but the ship resisted every command. Its lights flashed in rapid sequences, almost like a warning, yet it did not attack. Mara realized the ship was not violent, it was protective. Curiosity pushed her forward. She touched another console, and the AI responded by activating a small mechanical arm. It gently handed her a cleaning cloth, as if acknowledging her role. Mara laughed softly. "Well, I guess this is my kind of interface," she said. The chamber expanded as more doors slid open. Mara explored cautiously, noticing the inner workings of the ship. Circuits and conduits glowed faintly. Some panels displayed data streams, moving in waves and patterns that seemed to pulse like a living organism. Mara discovered a section labeled in a language she couldn't understand. She ran her hand across the surface. To her surprise, the AI displayed a holographic memory, images of humans from centuries ago exploring distant stars, building colonies, and communicating with other life forms. The aliens outside watched in shock. How is this possible?" whispered one of them. Humans were supposed to be weak, primitive, unimportant. But Mara ignored them. She was no longer just a cleaner. She was the key to unlocking the AI's potential. She stepped into another chamber where the ship's main systems were housed. Consoles glowed softly, and panels shifted as she approached. When her fingers brushed a particular control, the ship responded by opening a small cockpit-like area. Mara stepped inside, her eyes wide with wonder. The seat molded to her form as if expecting her. The controls responded to her touch instantly. The hum of the ship became stronger, more vibrant, almost like music. Then the AI spoke, not in words, but in a series of melodic tones that resonated in Mara's mind. It was an invitation, a greeting, and a question all at once. She reached out and touched the central panel. I think I can help you," she whispered. The AI responded by activating more systems. Engines whirred quietly, shields powered up, and communication arrays came online. A holographic map displayed nearby star systems, each marked with icons she didn't recognize. Mara realized the AI was not just a warship. It was a guardian of knowledge, a vessel of history, and a protector of secrets. She leaned closer to the console, curious. Her hand brushed over another panel, and a series of mechanical compartments opened, revealing storage spaces filled with ancient artifacts and data cores. Mara carefully cleaned and touched each item. The AI responded by displaying holographic histories, images of battles, exploration missions, and diplomatic encounters. The aliens outside grew frantic. Auction officials demanded the ship be shut down immediately. "It's unstable, dangerous. We must seize control," they shouted. But Mara stayed calm. She realized that the AI was not dangerous. It simply needed someone who could understand it. Someone patient, gentle, and curious. Humans, she realized, had a unique ability. They could empathize with life in any form, even machines. Hours passed, though Mara did not notice. She moved from console to console, cleaning, touching, and observing. Each action awakened more of the ship's systems. Lights shifted colors, panels glowed, and a low hum filled the chamber like a heartbeat. Finally, the AI displayed a central command panel, showing the ship's full capabilities. Mara gasped. The warship was immense, capable of interstellar travel, defense, and communication. But it had been dormant, waiting for someone who could connect with it. She reached out and touched the central controls. The AI responded immediately, initiating a diagnostic sequence. Systems flickered, doors opened and closed smoothly, and a holographic interface appeared, showing maps of the galaxy. Mara realized the AI was trusting her completely. She felt a surge of pride and responsibility. She was not a technician or a warrior. She was a human, capable of understanding and caring for something the galaxy had deemed untouchable. Suddenly, a panel slid open, revealing a hidden cockpit. Mara stepped in, her heart racing. The ship's AI hummed in recognition, almost like a sigh of relief. She touched the controls and the engines quietly powered up. The ship was alive, responding to her in ways no alien had ever managed. Outside, chaos continued. Aliens shouted, waved, and scanned, but the ship ignored them. Mara realized the AI had chosen her. It would not respond to anyone else. She smiled softly. The auction hall fell silent as the ship made a subtle movement. A hangar door opened, revealing the space beyond. Mara stepped toward it, feeling a deep connection with the AI. Together, they moved as one. The aliens were stunned. Auction officials muttered in disbelief. It moves only for the human, one whispered. Yes, another replied. She is the key, the only one. Mara knew she had a choice. She could leave, return to her simple life, or explore the galaxy with the AI as her companion. The thought thrilled her. For the first time, humans were not the overlooked species. They were essential, capable, and respected. She turned to the controls, feeling the AI respond to her touch like a loyal friend. The ship hummed softly, almost like it was laughing. Mara laughed too, a clear, joyful sound that echoed through the cockpit. "This is just the beginning," she whispered. And in that moment she understood. Humans could achieve greatness not through brute strength or advanced technology, but through curiosity, care, and empathy. The AI warship, dormant for centuries, had finally awakened, and it had chosen a human to lead it into a new era. Outside the cockpit, the auction hall buzzed with disbelief, excitement, and fear. Aliens whispered to each other, trying to comprehend what had happened. But Mara didn't care. She was focused on the ship, on its systems, and on the future they could explore together. Hours turned into moments as she familiarized herself with the controls. Panels displayed new options, hidden rooms, and encrypted data. She realized the AI was not just a weapon, it was a repository of knowledge, history, and potential. As she touched another console, the ship responded with a soft vibration, almost like purring with contentment. Mara smiled. She was no longer a mere cleaner. She was a bridge between humans and a power the galaxy had feared for centuries. The aliens outside could only watch in awe and disbelief. They had underestimated humans, as they always did. But now, humans had proven themselves in the most unexpected way, through simple curiosity and gentle care. Mara took a deep breath, ready to explore what the AI could do, ready to discover the secrets it had guarded for centuries. She had awakened a giant, not through skill or force, but through humanity itself. The AI hummed softly, waiting. And Mara smiled, knowing that the galaxy would never see humans the same way again. The AI warship hummed softly, vibrating through the cockpit like a living heartbeat. Mara ran her hands over the controls, feeling a connection she had never experienced before. She could sense the intelligence behind the massive ship, its curiosity, its caution, and now its trust. The auction hall outside remained frozen in chaos. Aliens panicked and shouting, but Mara didn't notice. She had a new mission: understand the ship, awaken it fully, and show the galaxy that humans were far more capable than anyone had ever imagined. The first step was simple: exploration. Mara navigated through the corridors, her steps echoing softly on the metal floors. The AI followed her movements perfectly, doors sliding open as if anticipating her touch. Every system responded to her gentle care, to the rhythm of her hands across panels. It was not force, it was understanding, and the ship rewarded her for it. In the central control chamber, Mara paused at a large console. Holographic displays flickered on, showing maps of distant star systems, hidden colonies, and ancient stations long forgotten by the galaxy. Some of the symbols were familiar, some completely alien. She touched the panels lightly, and the ship's AI responded by highlighting safe routes, potential resource hubs, and even unknown communication channels. The realization struck her: this warship was more than a weapon. It was a treasure trove of knowledge, of history, of human potential. Humans had explored the stars centuries ago, often overlooked by alien civilizations, and the AI had kept records of their missions, protecting them in secret. Now, through her, it could reveal them. Outside, the aliens had given up trying to control the ship with tools, scanners, or commands. All attempts failed, and yet Mara remained calm. She realized the secret to the AI's awakening was not complexity. It was care, patience, and intuition, traits humans had in abundance despite their supposed primitiveness. Mara walked to a section of the ship labeled as Archives. The doors opened automatically at her approach. Inside, rows of data cores floated in midair, glowing softly. She reached out and touched one. Immediately, holographic images burst into life. Humans building colonies, exploring planets, and interacting peacefully with alien species. She felt a deep sense of pride. Humans had been underestimated for so long, dismissed as weak and incapable, yet the AI had preserved their achievements, and now it recognized her as the one who could finally unlock its potential. "Look at this," she whispered to herself. "You've been waiting for me." The AI responded with a melodic hum, almost like a sigh of relief. It had been waiting for someone with empathy, someone who could connect with it not through commands or brute force, but through touch, observation, and care. Humans, Mara realized, were uniquely capable of this. Her attention turned to the cockpit again. Panels she had not noticed before flickered with light. She reached out and touched a small console, and the AI immediately responded by activating the ship's communication array. A holographic projection of the auction hall appeared around her, showing the aliens' shocked faces. Mara thought carefully. The aliens had underestimated humans. They had assumed that size, strength, and technology alone defined intelligence. But she knew better. She spoke calmly, addressing the projection. "Attention, everyone. This ship is not defective. It does not respond to you because you do not understand it. It is alive, and it recognizes humanity." Gasps echoed across the hall. Auction officials waved their claws and arms, trying to regain control, but the ship ignored them. Mara continued. "It has been waiting for someone who could care for it, understand it, and awaken it. That someone is human. Not because we are stronger, not because we are smarter in the conventional sense, but because we see life differently. We notice things others ignore. We connect where others cannot." The holographic projection shifted to show the AI warship in full glory. Its hull glimmered, lights flickered rhythmically, and panels shifted smoothly. Mara pressed a sequence of controls, and a hidden compartment opened, revealing a storage area filled with ancient human exploration records. The crowd outside was stunned. Alien engineers whispered among themselves, This is impossible. Humans should not be capable." "Yes," another said. "Yet here they are, And that human, she is commanding the ship effortlessly. Mara smiled and continued to explore. She reached a console labeled Defense Systems. Instead of activating weapons, she touched the controls lightly. The AI responded by creating a protective energy shield around the auction station, stabilizing failing systems, and preventing accidents from drones or panicked aliens. The aliens' fear turned into awe. They realized that this human had achieved what no alien had ever done. She had awakened the AI without aggression, without destruction, simply through understanding. Mara spoke again, her voice steady. This ship is not a weapon. It is a guardian. It protects knowledge, it preserves history, and it responds to life. Look at it, see what it can do when it is understood, not forced. She walked to another console and activated the ship's mapping systems. Holographic routes lit up across the galaxy, showing uncharted systems, lost colonies, and secret bases. The AI projected human exploration missions from centuries ago, highlighting humans' ingenuity, courage, and persistence. The aliens were silent. They had underestimated humanity for too long. They had assumed humans were fragile, weak, unimportant. But here was a human who had awakened a legendary AI warship without violence or force, revealing secrets that could change the galaxy. Mara's heart swelled. She realized that humans' greatest strength was not strength itself, not technology, not firepower. It was curiosity, empathy, and patience. These traits had awakened a giant that no alien could control. She moved to the cockpit again and touched the central console. The ship responded by opening all hangar doors, showing its full interior. Lights glowed along the corridors, panels shifted to reveal hidden rooms, and holographic displays projected information for all to see. Outside, the aliens stared in awe. Auction officials whispered in disbelief. She has done the impossible," one muttered. "Yes," another replied, "and the ship, it obeys only her." Mara took a deep breath. She realized that this was a turning point not just for her but for all humans. They had been dismissed, underestimated, and ignored for centuries. Now, through her connection with the AI, the galaxy had no choice but to recognize human ingenuity. The auction hall fell silent. Aliens watched as the human continued to explore, her hands gently brushing panels, activating systems, and revealing secrets. She was not commanding through force. She was leading through understanding, care, and connection. The AI responded with a soft, melodic hum that filled the hall, vibrating through every surface. It was a sound of approval, recognition, and alliance. Mara smiled. She turned to the projection and spoke one last time. Humans are not weak. We are capable, curious, and empathetic. We may be small, but we are more than you ever expected. This ship is proof. Respect what humans can do, not with weapons, but with understanding. The aliens remained silent. They could not argue. They could only watch. Mara knew the next steps were hers to choose. She could explore the galaxy with the AI, uncover lost knowledge, and protect secrets humans had once hidden. Or she could return to the auction, showing the aliens that humans were not to be ignored. She chose the first. The AI warship hummed in agreement, engines quietly powering up. Mara felt the vibrations under her feet, felt the intelligence of the ship responding to every thought, every touch, every intention. She had become one with the AI. Together, they would explore the stars, not as conquerors, but as guardians and discoverers. Outside the cockpit, the auction hall erupted in whispered awe and disbelief. The aliens would never see humans the same way again. For centuries, they had dismissed humanity as weak, unimportant, and primitive. Now they had witnessed what a single human could do: awaken a legendary AI warship, reveal hidden secrets, stabilize dangerous systems, and lead without force. Mara smiled, her fingers brushing over the controls. The AI responded with a soft glow, almost like a heartbeat. She whispered softly, almost to herself, "This is just the beginning." And it was. The galaxy would never doubt humans again. Not because of weapons or firepower, but because of empathy, curiosity, and understanding. Traits that no alien machine could replicate, no technology could replace, and no species could ignore. The AI warship, fully awakened, floated gently in the auction hall, its lights shining like stars. Mara guided it carefully, showing the aliens that humans could achieve greatness in ways they had never imagined. And for the first time in centuries, humans were not overlooked. They were essential, capable, and worthy of respect. The hum of the AI echoed through the hall, a melody of trust, alliance, and promise. Mara felt it deep in her bones. She had done what no one else could. She had awakened a giant, and in doing so, she had shown the galaxy the true strength of humanity. The auction hall was no longer a place of fear and competition. It had become a stage for recognition, awe, and a glimpse of a future where humans were seen not as weak, but as extraordinary. Mara took a deep breath, her hands resting on the glowing panels. The AI hummed softly, a sound of contentment and readiness. Together they would explore, discover, and protect. Together they had proven that humans, even the smallest and simplest of them, could achieve greatness beyond imagination. And in that moment, Mara knew it. The galaxy had changed forever.